Good evening from Kirksville, Missouri. This is Randy Kervin, and this is Rantin Randy's Rant for Saturday, the 4th of April. Oh, I tell you what, it's unnerving, to say the least. I wanted to let people know in Kirksville, Missouri, surgical masks are available here at Hy-Vee for $14.99. That's probably a small box of them. We can't afford them. I'm just going to go with the scarf that I've been using. Again, I've been working on my other glasses all day long. And it's just a matter of I've got to get the two pieces lined up where I can get, if I can get a paper clip through it, that would temporarily repair it, but I can't get the holes to line up with each other, which means I can't super glue it. Can't super glue it if I can't get it lined up, it wouldn't hold. But that's just an update on things here in Cartersville and what I've been doing. Uh, damn it. The asshole in chief was out there again today. He's now decided he's a doctor and will prescribe that malaria drug. Undoubtedly, he doesn't have any care for that's used for arthritis. It's used for victims of malaria. It's used for lupus. These people are already having a time trying to find that because he's got so much faith in it. It might be the miracle drug we're looking for. Oh, give me a fucking break. You're an idiot, Donald Trump. And Donnie is trying to remove, because he cannot do it on his own, he's trying to remove George Atkinson, the IG involved with the whistleblower. He's now going to remove him if at all possible. Um, and I'm just going to come straight out and tell it the way I see it. The elite in this country can count on testing from this regime. He tested the oil executives. Oh, I like the idea. Let's go ahead and do it. And he tested them. But yet there's millions of Americans out here that we can't even get the true numbers on who has COVID-19 because he promises testing, but very little is being done. And shamefully, they're running out of what costs pennies. The swabs to do the test are run out. The rest of us, because of this regime, the rest of us are being left behind. I already said, and everybody knows, this a blue dot or a true American patriot. This man cannot be trusted. Everything he does is get out there and project like he was doing today. It is, I call it his mouth rally. Again, he was talking about the cure can't be worse than the disease. What he's talking about, within a couple of weeks, he wants everybody in America to go back to work, go back to school, and get that great economy he was bragging about today. He's got a great economy, 10 million people unemployed, but that's a great economy. Oh, shit. A hard decision, that's what he said. A hard decision has to be made. At some point, he's going to want everybody to go back to work so that more people can get sick, not to forget about the right-wing religious nuts that are still in 14 states. They can assemble and meet and worship in church. And no wonder we're going to have a resurgence of this, because they're doing that. It's just going to get worse. I wish I could tell you something positive. Trump accuses states of playing politics with ventilators. Again, he's projecting. That's what he's doing with it. Again and again, he projects back to what he is doing and blames it on others. Uh, and like I said today, he was out wanting to write prescriptions for that drug. And the more he does that, the more his stupid base believes what he's saying. Uh, I'm going backwards in this, so I got to figure out where I was on that. Okay. Uh, Let me start at the front. Line these up. I started on page 4. All right. Now, uh, 14 states have exempt worship services. Now, the folks that believe, because it's a church, uh, they believe they are completely safe because they're covered in the blood of Jesus. So you can't give them the disease. They're safe. I say to those people that they are selfish. And what are they going to do when some of their church members get the virus? They're going to say they didn't have enough faith. They are sinners. And the Gospels don't agree with what they are doing. Governor Brian Kemp is a dumbass. He didn't know what his own state of Georgia health departments were being told a month ago. A month from it was March 2nd. Let's see, I've got it here. Uh, I probably got it down in here further. I just also wanted to say Jared Kushner is a Pennsylvania geek. The federal government is not responsible for anything anymore. And again today, Donnie said they are a backup. Just imagine Roosevelt being a backup for World War II. We don't have leadership. Uh, and what we have is the panderer in the White House. And I say to my Republican friends, educate yourself because we have no leader at this time. What we have is a bunch of fascists in the White House and all of our departments in the cabinet. And this is what this is about. They have to make money on anything that happens. And I just wanted to express I'm trying to hold it down to one trip a day out. And when I do so, I have a scarf on. I can't cover my nose with that scarf because if I do, it fogs up my glasses and I can't see where I'm going. Uh, but I also wear some gloves that works some of the places when you use your debit card. Other places, the keys are so small, I have to take the glove off because it makes my finger too big for their keyboard for entering the password. Uh, there are some stores that works quite well because my glove has a leather tip on the index finger, which when the keys are the right size, I can leave my gloves on. Okay, let's see. And do what we're doing. It's starting to get on our nerves, but we're staying home as much as we can. Uh, And if you're like Grace and I, there's a lot you can do right at home. If we get tired of the news or whatever, or can't find any programming, I've got like hundreds of titles of DVDs. I've got even videotape. I don't usually break those out anymore because you can clean one head on the VCR now with the type kit that I've got, but it doesn't clean the other head, so I try not to use it. And besides that, it's going the route of the 8 track, so I'm not that concerned about my videotapes, which I've got hundreds of those. And because right now is survival of the fittest. That's because we have no leadership from the federal government feeling they are a backup. Listen, brothers and sisters, we are the United States. Leadership is saying supplies are theirs. Jared Kushner said that. That was theirs. They don't have to give those up. The states have got to get whatever in the hell they can get for the most part. What the hell is that except fascism? Uh, Federal government taking a fascist role, and we will not get help except through private market. And that's the way they run it. That's what fascists do. Uh, my fear for Americans waiting for the economic relief money with those getting the checks based on a month of minimum wage, we are going to have more homeless because they're talking in some cases 20 weeks. That's 5.5 months. How many people are going to be on the street by 5.5 months? Regardless of what Donnie has said, look at what they have done. Still no state at stay at home order nationally, doing slow motion Defense Production Act. Now it's even in doubt that he even said anything to GM. That means at least another 100 days when they do get one of Ford or GM to agree to make ventilators, because he's too concerned about they should be making cars and making money. Missouri and Alabama issued stay-at-home orders finally. Missouri's goes into effect on Monday, so I'll let you know how things are going on that. Uh, and pressure is what did that, brothers and sisters. And pressure can work on the other states. We only have one state in the union that has no COVID-19, and that's Wyoming. So they're a long ways from doing anything. They figure because they have a sparse population that it won't happen there. Well, I guarantee you it will. States with no stay at home order are Iowa, Arkansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. And we still need to do more testing. We're not getting true numbers with how many people have the virus if we're not doing testing. That's the way others have flattened their curve and start to bring it down because they did a hell of a lot of testing, which we're not doing. Uh, so now we find out that Georgia's governor, Brian Kemp, that Pinar Granaska, a system engineering professor who runs Georgia Tech's Center for Health and Humanitarian Systems, who wrote an email arguing that educating the public and encouraging voluntary quarantine is very important to slow down the spread of the disease. That was on March 2nd. It took this dumbass a month to lie and say he didn't know anything about the spread with no symptoms. Really? Until 24 hours? Or, till March 1st? You didn't know. Come on, you liar. And that's what they are. They have become a party of liars stuck up Trump's butt. And we know what to do. They can all take their ass home in 2020. And I think we're going to find, just like in this state, find them in a scandal and then kick their ass out of office. And, it's all involved, and it's the Republicans. They ignore science. They're known for that. There's a syndrome here. Kiss the supreme leader's butt or hide your head up his butt. Let's see. Alabama received 5,000 dry rotted masks, N95 masks. Turn the volume down, Grace. All right. And I'm sorry it's taking this long, but I'm trying to read this, and these are not really prescription lenses. They're just reading glasses I watch TV with. And that's the reason I'm kind of fuzzy on seeing everybody. I know there's a whole lot of folks out there. I love that. I see Linda. I see Joe. I see Lisa. I see Maria. I see Dennis. I see Carrie. Homer's Reluctant Odyssey. And of course, when I go back and look in real time, I'll be able to tell better who all was here. It looks like a bunch of you are, and I appreciate that. That's the greatest thing you give me is your time. Let's see. I learned last night from Rachel, stadiums around the globe are being turned into hospitals. That's the great soccer fields and all that are now becoming hospitals. Let's see. And yesterday, the dumbass, as well as I believe it was Kushner too, blamed the states for not having stockpiles. That we're the backup. No, they're not. That's what this shit is for the American people. And they're claiming it, what, for the elite? For whoever they pick? When they get sick? That's more like what's going on. Trump hasn't ordered any ventilators from GM despite saying he was using wartime powers to force production. And yesterday, Donnie Dumbass said he doesn't agree with his own task force model, saying between 100,000 to 240,000 dying. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Oh, that's better. And like I said before, something that costs pennies to produce is slowing down testing because they don't have the swabs to do the test. We have only possibly a fraction of what the numbers of actual cases, and that is because we're not testing enough. It all goes back to that. Today, in absence of leadership, states governors are stepping up. Oregon is going to be lending 140 ventilators to New York. States that are primarily blue states are stepping up. Uh, and I was wrong when I wrote this down that I discovered that today when I had to make a trip to Hy-Vee that they at least have the mask, but that's too wealthy for me unless I wait till my Social Security comes in. I'll just go with the scarf that I'm wearing. And I can't, like I said, I can't pull it over my nose because I can't see where I'm going. It was 29 degrees this morning here. It's warmed up nicely, but it's not summer weather here, or even for most of you, it wouldn't be spring like today. Let's see if I left out anything. No, that's. I'm proud I got to that. The states that aren't complying yet. Okay. Looks like I got most of it. The biggest point is, brothers and sisters, we have no leadership. We have to figure some way, and I don't wish anybody bad times, but we have to figure out a way. And I was proud to see the demonstration that was going on today, 6 feet apart, about what's going on. That this is a bunch of fascists, a fascist regime that is going to kill. They don't care how many people they kill. Big industry is never worried about how many people they kill because they call that collateral damage. That's all it is to them. Just a few negative numbers and a few lawsuits, and that's all it is to them. So we have got to change this. And the way we do it is like what they were doing today. We can still protest. We can get out there with masks on, with rubber gloves on, and get out there and protest 6 feet apart. That way the police cannot break up that because you're not using social distancing. There's things we can do, and we're going to have to start doing them. And the sooner we do them, the sooner we can change these damn red states and change their mind to get in line. Let's try to bring this country back, not kill everybody. And I guarantee you, they don't give a shit about the poor. They don't give a shit about old people. They don't give a shit about anything but the money, baby. Give me that money. That's what it's all about. All right, I will let you go from now. Hello, Carol. Yeah, and everywhere so far, and I'm seeing that in the comments, everything, nothing has reached an apex yet, and it's not about to start coming down. Uh, I believe Governor Cuomo is hoping within the next 7 days that they will start seeing a decrease in the number of patients. And he had the right idea. He's shown more leadership. Him and Newsom in California have shown more leadership than Trump could ever imagine doing. He knows nothing but dividing people. All right, I will let you go at this point. I'm kind of glad that this is my Friday, even though it's Saturday. I get a little break and I'll be able to get into some music. I will also be putting a friend when I get the information on her timeline to like a project that she's into, and that's Green Heart Project, and they're about climate change. They're about abuse of animals. A lot of good things with that project, and I will be asking for you to like that too. Well, thank you, Linda. Uh, I do my best. Sometimes it gets rough when I look over here. I have to put my head up like that, and then I can see what you type in there. But uh, I can guarantee you, uh, I'm not used to it. I've always felt like I don't want to look like Jared Kushner, looking down his nose at everybody like he's better. The only thing better is he got more money. That doesn't make anybody better. All right, I'll let you go. Peace. Resist and persist. And I insist that this Blue Dot family and other groups of people keep applying pressure to these red states. They will come over. They will have to. They'll have to come over because the dumbass in the White House is not going to pressure them any at all. He lets them make the decision. Have a good one, and I will see you Monday on Facebook around this time of day. So have a good weekend, get some downtime, listen to some good music. Uh, all the groups that I post to. So I'll see you there. Have a good one. Share this shit. Get it out there. Thank you. Bye bye.